C10 Talk, episode 194, The Intervention, the C10 Intervention. Hold on, here we go.
But I've made a promise to myself, because this will be finished painted. It's not going to be a patina car. I'm going to have it painted before I wire it, because I know that if I wire this thing up and get it on the road, it'll never get painted. So I got to stick to my dream and, get it painted and then wire it up, and then it should be on the road. Hopefully a year, maybe a year and a half. If it stretches out to 2 years, it'll all be worth it.
Damn, son.
Let me tell you what Melba Toast is packing right here. All right, we've got 411 posi track out back, 750 double pumper, Edelbrock intakes, scored over 30, 11-1 pop-up pistons, turbojet, 390 horsepower. We're talking some bucking muscle.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind? That just happened.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 truck podcast.
And now I have a chance to be the best, maybe the best in the world.
My old man is a television repairman. Ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
I said I got 50 cents in that jukebox, and all I can hear is your mouth clapping. You hear that?
Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
What's up, C10 Nation? Happy Taco Tuesday coming at you. C10 Intervention, highlights, and interviews. Didn't have a lot of time to go through them, so if I mess up or the guy I'm interviewing messes up, so be it. I want to get this one out to you guys. I got plenty going on. I've already got next episode ready to rock, so 195, and I think you guys are going to dig it. It's going to be product pod. And I was thinking, okay, well, I want to reach out to some of these guys, these companies that have some really rad stuff. So we've got Goonie Wheel, and it's spelled G-U-N-I. So check it out, Goonie Wheel. If you're building something, you're going to like this setup. We've also got Trick Manufacturing, which is the Altman door latches. We've got a shop teacher who makes these killer front brush guards for mostly your, K10, K20 type stuff. But hey, if you want to put one on your C10, you can as well. And then being out at the intervention, we came around or across the hidden headlight setup. And I posted a video on C10 Nation. So those guys will all be next. Episode 195. 194 coming at you from the intervention. Had a great time. Got on a plane, bam, jumped out there Saturday to Sacramento, quick drive up, and had a great time. The pre-party at this show is usually in the parking lot at the hotel, and it did not let anybody down. There was some good times had by everybody. The C10 compadres did their cookout, great food, great people, and honestly, almost a truck show in itself. Provost, I just want to give some thank yous out to the people that put everything on. Carlos Vidalis from Dropped Lowered. He's probably your primary show promoter, show organizer. Tony from SAC, Johnny Oro, Mr. C10 Club, and then Sean Provost and the Provost team. They do a great job. They have kind of a VIP setup at the show, and really just a ton of fun. It's hard to see exactly what's coming through from a social media perspective because I'm there, but it's a really good show. The weather was great. The weather ended up being kind of ironically great because the fires created a cloud, and then the sun wasn't piercing down on us. Once the sun broke through at 1:30, we had an hour to go and we were out of there. So really did work out. C10 Intervention coming at you. Great time. I think they're going to move it to a different spot next year. We'll see. It'll be their 4th annual next year. For all the guys that were out and girls that were out at Battle in Bama, hope it went well. It looked like it did. I talked to a few people and they said it was all good. I did want to get out there. It just didn't work out. Obviously, same weekend and everything else. So hopefully you guys had a great show, a great trip, and everything went well out there. For the media perspective on this, I tried really hard to get good videos for these interviews. So when you're listening, if you hear something, jump over to C10 Talk, a few on C10 Nation as well, and you can kind of get a video format, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, me walking around one of the builds, one of the interviews. All right, so you can check out those IGTV stories. kind of in correspondence with some of the interviews that I was able to get. I got a ton of interviews, some good ones, some really good ones. I mean, some amazing builds. So we'll be bringing that to you. Up next, for show-wise, I'm sure there's some other stuff, but on my list, you've got the C10 Fall Revival out in North Carolina. That's going to be October 24th in Oakboro, North Carolina. I hope I'm saying that right. Oakboro. I want to say Borough, but Oakboro. That's probably pronounced Borough. Oakboro, North Carolina. I'll go with that. And then, of course, Dino's 10th annual. He just posted something today. They're working with the city to get the permitting and then get some hotel codes out to everybody. 10th annual Get Down Chevy only, Dino, Westgate, Glendale, Arizona. And that is slotted for November 13th and 14th. That's a 2-day show. All right. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking to seeing everybody. Get your hotels booked, get your flights, get your trucks done so you can roll out, and it'll be the big party of the year, really. I think it will. So next up, you're going to have the product pod with those 4 companies I mentioned. OBS Talk, we did have the Clash. So Auto Revolution, who's also been a guest on C10 Talk, they did a killer job of putting together some old school OBS stuff, 80s, 90s. Check it out, Amazon or YouTube. OBS Clash. They've got a 2-series. It's a 3-part, but they got 2 out. And then September 11th, this Friday, you'll see number 3. It's free. If you like history, you like rad trucks, especially going back to the sport truck movement, 88 to 98, the OBS, old body style, CK trucks, you're going to like it. They're about 13 minutes a piece. They've got 2 of them out. They'll have number 3 out this Friday. So they were just on OBS Talk, and Mark Oya interviewed Jason Mulligan and Marcel, so you can check that one out. Over on F100 Talk, I know, hold on, but it's Casey Matthews. So if you want to hear what's going on with Casey, everybody's like, what? Yeah, Solomon just interviewed Casey Matthews, so check that one out. A really good interview, kind of checking in what he's got going on the last few years, and then he did just, blow apart his truck and then rebuild it. So let's jump over to some reviews real quick, see what's going on there. Honestly, you guys, it looks like we're at like 578. Do me a favor. Let's try to get that thing up to 600. And believe it or not, this month is our 7th year. So at the end of the month, September 23rd will be our 7th year sitting behind this mic and bringing you, quite a bit of pod. I was thinking I might get to 200 by the anniversary. Not going to happen, but man, we'll be right there. So do me a favor and give us a rate, give us a review, because it does help us. Let's jump on to some reviews here. I think this was the last one. Negative Camber approved, 5 stars. Love the podcast. Always entertaining and full of info. Great job. That's Randy, Negative Camber, Florida. Randy, NC, Florida. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you.
A must listen for the C10 crowd and those other people too. Yeah, there are other people. This is from No One You'd Know, 5 stars. Thanks for your time and effort you put into doing this, which in turn benefits our scene so much. The best way for all of us to stay connected and up to date on what's happening in our community since the message board 67 through 72 ChevyTrucks.com. Oh, this is a more, so I got to click more. So let's go here, more. No, that's what he's got. Powell 72. No One You'd Know coming at you. Thank you, Powell 72, 5 stars.
Perfect. Thank you.
One more. Very motivational, 5 stars by Never Enough AZ. Dude, I have got to say I love the show. Listening makes me want to get into the garage and work on my 82 C10. Me and my son plan on bringing our squares to next year's Get Down. Thanks. And that's Never Enough Arizona.
Perfect. Thank you.
Never Enough Arizona, you left that at the end of last year, so get ready, because we just got done talking about the Get Down. We know that Dino and his crew, Chevy Only Krista, they're definitely working hard trying to make this happen. Hopefully get some good feedback from the city and get that permit, because that's what they're waiting on right now. We did have a few pre-orders on C10 Nation. We got some pink hats in for the ladies. We're going to make that long bed shirt. So the shirt that my son kind of came up with, it was kind of just messing with Kyle from Metalox. Keep the long beds long. So that shirt's going to be a go. And we are going to bring back, because we kind of ran low on them, I'd rather be driving my C10. So if you've got, you want one of those, keychains, stickers, everything else, C10Nation.com. All right, guys, have a great week. Again, thank you so much for listening, tuning in, all the support. We'll be back next week with the Product Pod. late. Hey, C10 Intervention 2020, we're here, and let me just tell you that I got like 10 of the compadres, Central Valley, North, South. The bottom line is last year we came up here, and these guys, hey, C10 Intervention, the show is not the show without the compadres. So we've got Lorenzo. Where'd Lorenzo go? We've got Harvey. We got Romero. We got Chewy. And we got like 10 other guys. But I'm going to start with Harvey. So tell us, dude, because honestly, you guys, what you do for the compadres and what you do for the scene and the C10 King, now, you know what happens with it, but you know when the C10 King gets involved, and he likes to ask the questions and answer them. Bob Barker. Yeah, he's Bob Barker. So, Harvey, tell us about the compadres and what really, I mean, you guys kill it out here. It's truly like the model club from the perspective of a lot of times when we think about what these guys do at the Brothers Show and the corner and the barbecue, you guys lay it out here, and you don't expect anything. It's about the people, the family, the scene, and it's amazing. You guys do a great job.
Us here at the compadres, I want to thank all I'm telling my compadre brothers here, we're a family, and we do everything as a unit. Nobody is getting credit just for one thing. It's all of us helping out. And
I agree. I mean, I've seen you guys work it, although you guys put Chewy behind the grill, and then you don't let him talk. So, Chewy, what's it like? How hot is it in the kitchen? Hey, I'm a firefighter, so I understand.
Everybody, and we love this goddamn group. Compadres all the way. And I love everybody, and this is awesome.
How many tequilas have you already had today?
So far.
So what's your favorite part?
The ambience, the whole thing. The family. That everybody is together from everywhere, wherever they're coming from, Southern California, whatever, but we're right here.
What about the guys who come from Arizona? They're okay?
Doesn't matter. They're all homeboys. Okay. They're all homeboys. They're all welcome in our hearts.
Texas, man. Well, and really, he's being sincere. Really, that's what it's all about. These guys come out. Romero, what do you think? I mean, you're like the muscle, the bodyguard of this thing. I mean, you guys, what you guys do is really, it's a model for other, whether it's C10s or La Familia. I mean, you guys really care about that, and it's a thing that I notice for sure.
Right. And we just started this because this is what we do all the time. We just hang out, have a good time with family, eat good food, drink beers, and love our trucks. And everybody that comes around, they're just great people. So we can't stop doing this, and we're going to keep on doing this.
How do you organize something like this? Who says bring what? I mean, because it's not like you guys have it all figured out. It's like, oh, everybody brings the meat, the tortillas, the grills, the charcoal, the beer, everything. There's got to be somebody who's ringleading this thing.
No, we got a coach, and we got Harvey as a coach. We got assistant coaches, Lorenzo, and they give us a text, and they're telling us, bring this, bring that, and we just make it happen. But we love doing this for everybody. We loved it.
So I've heard Lorenzo been brought up a few times. What are you doing? Are you like, you got an Excel spreadsheet, Lorenzo, and you're telling everybody how many pounds of carne asada? Tell us about it.
It's usually a late night text when I feel brave. I tell the guys, you guys are bringing this, but I make sure I coordinate with everybody. All this is for everybody.
And I know we're only audio, but let me just tell you, nobody's going to talk back to Lorenzo, okay? Nobody. All right, well, maybe Romero, but nobody else is going to talk back at all. So you kind of come up with it and then say, hey, this is what we're doing?
We're all family out here. Our biggest thing to cater to everybody. We're all a family. That's all it is. As long as everybody puts their part in, we're all a big club here. Everybody's cooking. Everybody's putting their time in. That's what C10 Club's all about. And the compadres is just a branch. But we're all united.
Well, I'm telling you guys do a great job. I mean, there's like 20 of them standing around me right now. I think I'm going to get jumped or something. But, I mean, I don't really feel that way. I feel very secure. But they've got they got like 6 grills going, the charcoal, the coolers, everything, and the food is tremendous. And what you guys do is really, it kind of does embody the spirit of the La Familia. I'm telling you, and I feel that, and I wanted to get this interview before I started consuming too much alcohol, but I think it's really important to capture this because people need to know about this and what you do, and all over the country people want to listen to this. And it's like, dude, just start with a grill, a couple chairs, and people will show up and people want to gather. And at the end of the day, the trucks are cool, but you, the compadres, and the people are cooler, and without you guys it wouldn't be possible. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Great time out here.
You're the ringleader. We know.
Okay.
What do you got?
I'm the coach of the C10 Compadres. I've been a leader And the C10 Compadres. I'm one of the leaders of the C10 Compadres, and we do it as a group effort. I want everybody to know that. And this all started with the C10 Club, and then the C10 Compadres. We're just a little small unit. We're a small unit, and we like to have a good time. We're all about family. The C10 Club, we're all one unit. And if we need family in the whole world, it'd be a better place.
Well, and I love it, man. I mean, the bottom line is you know what? You've seen Renee, 1999, the C10 Club was formed, and then you guys have just taken it to another level. Really, so you need to hear that, because when I came last year, I was just blown away at what your hospitality and the way that you treated everybody that came to the show, and it's really second to none. So keep it up. You guys have led by example, and we appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no film, only recording. Why not get the king, the legend, episode number 5. We've got Renee, and we've got, what is this, the Sea Hag. And I'll tell you what, not only are we going to talk about the Sea Hag.
This is just the Hag. The Sea Hag was another truck I used to have that looked like this. This is just the Hag.
Oh, you call this one just the Hag?
Just the Hag.
So I don't even know how to keep up. So what's happened since episode number 5, not only is like 190 other episodes, but you have become the essentially the pimp of C10s. Tell us, how is it pimping C10s?
Hey, pimping, somebody has to do it. It's a good life. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. This Hag fell into my lap. A friend of a friend picked it up. He had too many projects, and I go, dude, I will buy that truck off of you. I had the vision. It happened. This truck is nice. Not because it's mine, but it's everything I always wanted. The right color. People that know GMCs know that GMC came with a one-hump dash. It is so attractive. The front end of the GMC, it's attractive.
Is this it's a 456. What year exactly?
It is a 65 with a 66 grill. And the reason I wanted the 66 grill is because it had the red on the grill. And then plus I two-toned a few other things with red just to highlight it. It was a small back window. We converted to the big back window. I put the chrome on it. We put the tinted glass. This 1 year only color, terrace blue. It's awesome. Chevy's colors are a little bit different. This GMC, it had the ticket. The GMC had the ticket.
Are you surprised that your style and your vision, I mean, literally, let's be somewhat serious, but going back to episode 5, going back to the old magazines, classic trucks, going all the way back, your style really has continued to prevail and transcend. And people, you've done a great job. Who would have ever thought, no different, to remind the audience that when you got onto the forums, you didn't even know you got the name C10 King. And you have, I don't even know, you have like 70,000 followers, if not more, on your own Instagram. But you take these trucks in, some are yours, some are other people's, and you're molding them, you're finessing them, you're doing what you do to them. Your formula, your recipe continues to kick ass.
Well, you know what, Ronnie? Again, I'm going to tell everybody, I'm not a mechanic. I don't claim to be. But when I see a truck, I can see the vision in it. I can look at something and say, you know what, this is right, this is wrong, it needs to go this way, it needs to go that way. When I found this truck, I go, oh my God, this is a truck, this is a diamond that isn't too rough. This has the factory patina. And see, a lot of people will get a truck, they'll sand it 15 times and say, oh, it's patina. No, this is Mother Nature. This is Mother Nature factory paint. I go, I can do it this way. It had the white front end, and everybody say, leave it alone. I go, no, chrome with patina. I go, factory tinted glass, chrome, windshield trim, factory bucket seats. A lot of people don't know, but GMCs came first with these buddy buckets, what we call CST seats, in 66. And I go, these will look really good in this truck. Mother Nature again. I have a formula for these trucks with cleaning up the paint, and it worked out just fine. Put a 350 turbo, with a 350 automatic. Column by Kevin's Classics to make it look totally stock. We converted it to a big window. It looks just right. I knew this would look good. I get a lot of compliments. People say, oh, leave the white front end, but I know chrome with a natural patina looks just the best, especially with this color.
You brought it up, Kevin's Classic. Talk about your ace in the hole. For 20 years, you've been using Kevin. He's been rebuilding your columns. He's been doing your dirty work behind the scenes. But that's okay because you continue to prevail with these trucks and the recipe. And now people are literally like brokering you to sell their trucks.
Well, like I said, me and Kevin have been friends for a long time. Kevin is the man. He can build a tilt column and built it to suit. He built this tilt column for this pickup, made it look like a natural patina finish. What is so cool is people will come up to me and say, wow, is this column factory? I didn't know they had columns back then. That is how good Kevin is. He makes it look totally factory. He can match the patina, make it look like it came totally stock. He is the man. I don't know how many people that have bought those I Did It columns have thrown them in the trash and has gone over to Kevin because Kevin is the man.
The bottom line is Renee isn't really secretive about his formula. If you look, the right engine, the right tranny, tilt column, big back window, the color, and how you finesse what Mother Nature and GM have already given you is the winning formula. Now, let's talk about this. 1999, the C10 Club, your sister, your wife, 20 years. I mean, literally coming up on 21 years. Would you have ever even thought that the C10 Club would be what it is today?
No, Ronnie, not at all. Our C10 Club started as a joke. We used to go to shows, and people used to ask me, do you guys have a club? And I go, we belong to the C10 Club. And I would laugh under my breath. I go, you probably heard of us. And they would say, oh, yeah, we heard of you. And I knew it was a joke. They never heard of us. But because of Kevin and everybody else, later on, John Orrell, and that's the reason why we're big, is because of John Orrell. We got huge. But again, hand in hand with the Brothers Truck Show, we got really huge. They were generous to us. They let us get big. I think their show got big because of us, and we got big because of them. But no, I never thought it would get this big. Again, it started as a joke, but it just got big. More and more people we met, more and more good people from all over the place, not only California, Arizona, Texas. A lot of good people in Texas. Oh, my God. I couldn't believe all the other states, Washington. I could go on and on and on. They got big, flying the C10 Club name, C10 crew giving us up, making all kinds of C10 Club apparel, C10 lifestyle, C10 Club magazine, all the other states, other countries. I never imagined it would get this big. And again, it started as a joke, but there are so many good people. When I met Ronnie, again, when he told me he wanted to interview me, I go, oh, you don't want to talk to me. I don't got nothing to say. But Ronnie was C10 Talk. Dino, oh, my God, I love Dino to death. C10 Lifestyle, Chevy only, Dino, Delmo. Del bought a truck off me. The Grey Goose, he took it to another level. Sancho, everybody else. And again, I'm just like anybody else. I put my pants on one leg at a time.
Well, and I think you truly represent it. Really, at the end of the day, it's all about the people, the scene. I mean, we just got done talking to the compadres. You know the compadres and what they do. The trucks bring us together. It's the people, and you brought it up. Brothers Trucks took it to a level where they gave you a venue, C10 Crew, C10 Era, C10 Lifestyle, and it kind of expanded. And then, of course, John Orrell. We've got clubs from Kentucky to Georgia to Montana to Colorado. The C10 Club is everywhere, and it all started in 1999 with Renee.
Actually, it started because my sister was laughing, and she gave me a hat that said C10 Club, and I go, this is kind of cool. I never wear a hat because when you have a head that's perfect, you never wear a hat. I put it on my dash. I asked her for about a dozen more. Then I started giving to all my friends, my close friends that started hanging out. We started going to the Good Guys show. We went to the Brothers show, and it just escalated.
If you need a truck, he's probably got one for sale. If you need a recipe, he might tell you a few secrets, but talk about going all the way back to the forum. Renee, thanks as always. And I tell you what, you started with the old C10 Club Ranch show, and now this thing is all the way up to Sacramento, and what you're doing here, I think this is kind of like your unofficial show. The C10 Intervention has grown and grown, and we're back for 2020. It's got to be pretty cool to think that you see this show here right in your backyard.
Oh, my God, I can't believe it. I'll tell you what, with the C10 Intervention, Carlos, Tony, John Oro, the best people you can ask for. We have such a good time. I love those guys. Those guys are my brothers. Again, there's other people in this. Ronnie, yourself, John Oro, Delmo, Dino, my brothers. I love these guys to death. They have taken it to another level. The Brothers Trucks, they have helped us. There are so many people. C10 Washington, C10 Club Texas, everybody else, all the states. I can't believe it. I never would have guessed it would have went to this level. I never would have guessed.
The bottom line is we're having a good time. You hear the music in the background provided by Provost, the Provost Pimps. We're going to go drink another beer. Thanks, Renee.
Ronnie, you're so welcome. And again, you mentioned Provost. Those guys are the best guys in the world. And there's all the little people. The compadres, those guys are my brothers. They're in my backyard. I love those guys to death. All the other people, thank you so much, because Ronnie sums it up. It's not only the trucks, it's the people. It's everybody else. And I'll tell you, C10 Club or C10 people are the very, very best.
Well, and at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not going to get on my soapbox right now, but be that person. Be above it. Sometimes people get along, sometimes they don't. The trucks are cool, but you, the people, the C10 Club, the C10 Nation, you're cooler. Be above it. It's about getting together like this and, just making it work. So that's what it's all about. Thanks, Renee.
Ronnie, you're so welcome. Thank you very much. Everybody else, thank you very much. Keep on doing what you're doing. C10s, every man has to have a truck.
Might as well be a C10.
And like Dino says, there's no such thing as having too many pickups. Dino, I love you, brother.
Later, Dino. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, why not follow Renee with Kevin? So Kevin's Classic, Kevin Hernandez. And I tell you what, you've been carrying Renee for a long time. You know, he's kind of like the pinup, right? He gets all the shine. And but I tell you what, man, when he needs something done, he knows go to Kev's Classics. Kevin, you've built a lot of really cool trucks. I go all the way back to the forum days. And for the audience, the forum was just really our spot. And then social media came about. I'd say probably about the last 7 years. Social media's kind of predominantly taken over. I just took some pictures of your 75. What a beautiful two-wheel drive Blazer. But really, you go all the way back. What do you think about the scene and where it's evolved to?
Well, I was amazed. It just started out as just a small group of friends who liked the C10s, and we just started going to shows together, and people, as mostly you go to a car show, on the application says club affiliation. So Renee says, what the heck, C10 Club. So we started putting that, and then it just evolved. And when we went out to the Brothers show and met all the people from down south, it just exploded, evolved, and now it's everywhere. I'm just amazed, and I can't believe it.
Well, I tell you what, you bring up a great point. Sometimes we think like Texas is so big, but Cali is really big too. You've got North, you've got Central, you've got LA, then you've got South. When you think about like San Diego and the C10 Club, and you've got your C10 Club worldwide, the C10 Club itself has really tremendously just grown.
Yeah. I mean, people ask me, well, how many people in your club? I go, I can't tell you that. I mean, no one ever kept track. That's what one of the points was. It was no rules, no dues. We just hang out, have a good time. No ledger of who's in the club and what truck you brought, and And how come you weren't at this meeting? How come you didn't go to this show? None of that. It's just all, if you can make it, great. Just go out and have a good time. That's what it's all about.
Have a good time. You've built a lot of different vehicles. You've had your touch on, I mean, one of the ones that I think you had a big involvement with was Gumby. For the audience, going back to one of Renee's one of his most popular trucks. Why do you think the C10s are so damn popular?
I think it just, I can't tell you. I mean, I was always a square body guy, and then, the 67, 72s, came into view, and they got more popular, and they just make more appealing to everyone. And it just could do so much to them, so many different things you can do, and that's what makes it good.
Well, and the one guy that does a lot to them is you. I mean, I think you think about the old days where, they didn't, it's like, oh, I got a tilt column. I mean, that's kind of like, do you think that's your specialty? You're kind of the tilt column guy?
Kind of, sort of, because that's, what I kind of started off in the forum, because the job I had at the time, we were doing all the recovered thefts where back in the, late 80s, early 90s, they were breaking everyone's steering columns, to steal them. So I learned how they were put together and what they consist of, and it's the same thing as an older tilt. So I just started rebuilding people my own, at first, and friends, and then went on the forum. I just kind of advertised one for sale I had, and after that it just grew because everyone wanted one, and I just always put my, built it like it was for myself, and I didn't just send anybody junk. So that way they, and that's why I would say, yeah, I'm probably known for that because I've never had a bad problem where I got a bad name for them. Everyone's have been happy throughout the years, which makes.
Do you still do a lot of columns?
Yeah. In fact, the last 2 weeks, all I've been working on is columns.
Do you take a lot of orders if somebody listening wants a column redone? So if you can get a GM column?
Yeah. Right now, I don't have very many cores, but if people have a nice core they want to send in to have rebuilt, I'm taking calls for that, and I'm taking them in.
And what's that cost? A tilt column, somebody sends you a core, you rebuild it. What's that run?
Normally, if no hard parts are broke or nothing, either a square body or a 67, 72, right around in like the $500 range for parts and labor. So it'd be a complete column, levers, switches, everything's plug and play when you take it home.
The big thing too is I'm like 6'1", and 67, 72, there's not a lot of room. So you can actually push that column down about 3 inches, correct? So let the audience kind of know what they can do with their stock GM columns.
Yeah, it's just square bodies too. I've been doing a lot of square bodies, lowering them because them are even less cab room, I think, in the square bodies. But yeah, I said the 67, 72s, I set them up so they'll set closer, as far away from you as you want, without hitting the dashboard. And I just relocate the neutral safety switch for something like that. And
on the square bodies, just so the audience knows, that your neutral safety switch is in a different spot than a 6772. The deal with a square body is your fuel tank is right under your ass, so you can't lower that seat bracket. A 67 to 72, you can lower your seat brackets. Brothers, other companies make a seat bracket. You can lower that, which gets you a little bit more room. And then a guy like Kevin or yourself, you can get on the forum if you want, 67 to 72 ChevyTrucks.com. Not sponsored by them, but they're the go-to, and they'll show you how you can cut out and you can lower that column probably about 3 inches and get yourself a little more room. The other big thing is obviously your steering wheel, because the stock steering wheels are so big. You might have that belly, you might want a thirst buster, whatever it might be. But Kevin, you're the man. We know that I just kind of gave Renee a little joke. You're kind of the ace in the hole. You're always there when he's looking to kind of drop something, work on a column, and he might have the vision, but you're the Aaron of Gas Monkey Garage. You're the guy that's kind of doing it.
Yeah, he takes my advice on some of his builds, but he's always, that's why we hit it off right away, because we have the same passion, and we could see an old truck and we see what it could be with what could be done with it, and we decide what we want to do with it, and we do it. And like I say, like Gumby, that was the first ones, it was a stock truck, stock height, just all green with the white top, and it had the side molding. So we say, hey, let's two-tone it. Let's paint the white on the bottom too, and And well, heck, while we're at that, let's airbag it, lay it on the ground. Not like nowadays guys can lay them on the rockers, but back then, our airbags, bolt-in C-notch, and we're happy. Us old guys.
You thought that was low?
Yeah, and it was back in the day, and
Well, and really for Gumby, let's be honest, he didn't even want to lower it. He didn't want to C-notch it, and then when he did, it went to a whole nother level. You got this 75 out here, this little K5 full top, two-wheel drive. What's the story with this Blazer?
Well, it's something, I buy vehicles, and tear them down, fix them up to my liking and what I think it should be, and I usually build them, enjoy them a little while, and then I'll end up selling it because it's kind of just part of my income too. I wish I could keep them all, but I got two vehicles that I'll never sell, and which everyone probably knows me by my blue 72 Blazer. It's been built for over 20 years, and it's timeless, and I'll never sell that. And other things, I could build them and I could sell, I could let them go because I still have that to fall back on. Plus my 64 Impala convertible SS, I'll never sell that. I had that since high school, and I have that built, and as long as I have them, the rest I could build and let them go.
And have fun along the way. I tell you what, this little K5 you definitely have. The interior is beautiful. You did a great job with the plaid, the two-tone. You really hit a home run with this Blazer.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm real happy with the outcome. People say, you shouldn't sell it, and yeah, I get a liking to them, but like I say, I'd like to keep them all, but I got two I'll never sell, so it's easier for me to. This is like my hobby, I like building them, playing with them. If you walk around, there's a square body on the end, a gray and white two-tone, real nice. That's one of my builds, and it went through two guys since I sold it. But the guy that has it now loves it, and I see him at car shows, and he just loves it, and it still looks like this.
Is this K5 for sale?
It will be. Right now, me and my wife, it's just not even finished. There's still stuff I got to do so I can put the top on. And then it'll probably be for sale probably early next year. We want to enjoy it for a little while, play with it, but everything's for sale. If someone makes an offer I can't refuse, I'll be easy.
All right. You guys can check them out. Kev's Classics at Kev Classics. That's right. That's what it is, right on Instagram?
Yes. At Kev's Classics 6. Yes.
Yep. Check them out on Instagram. Do you have a name for this Blazer?
My wife calls it Sir James. It's a Jimmy. It's actually a Jimmy, not a Blazer. So
that's true. It is GMC. So Sir so Jimmy, I get it. Sir James. It's beautiful. Blue and white two-tone 75 coming at you. Kev's Classic. Thanks, Kevin. Talk about a journey. Lordy. So, starting it off this morning, C10 Intervention 2020, and it's early. It's beautiful. CTP Travis rolls in with the night train, and one of one. This thing, SEMA, award-winning. Talk about, turning heads. But we've had you on, all the way back to SEMA, which would have been SEMA 2018. This was going to be somewhere there. 2019, you end up getting in the AccuAir booth with some 70s Ferrari on the back. And now you're here, and the word is that it possibly is leaving your hands.
Going to a new home.
Just walk us through this. It's kind of almost, I feel like it's been like a 3, almost maybe a 4-year journey. What's the plan?
The plan with the truck or plan with the...
Walk us through that. Just walk us through that journey.
The whole journey.
No, not the whole journey. We don't have that much time, but just so when you think and you sit here and you're at the show and you look at this truck, you look at the night train, and you think about, for the audience, C50, crew cab, LB7 diesel, Duramax diesel, highs, lows, in between, hours and hours. I remember the first phase of this, this journey, you got to the point where you almost probably threw in the towel for a little bit because it was so much work.
I think I talked to you at that point. It was late at night, I think, when I talked to you.
And you probably worked all day long.
Because we were working all night long on it. And it's definitely been a project and a half, all the way from just, building the crew cab from a Suburban and getting that done, getting told by SEMA that truck's too big to fit anywhere, which made it to where I could finish the truck out how I really wanted it done though. And then so come into 2019, it was all finished. Driving in, driving home, everything. That was probably the best feeling, was driving home from SEMA with my short bed on the back from LA back up to Reno. That had to have been the best drive I've had in it. Just a good feeling of just the truck just runs killer. You're driving, you're cruising, and you finally got through the one headache of SEMA. You got through the SEMA crunch, and then now you got to enjoy it.
I think too, it's that I made it, I did it.
Yeah.
Right. So you look in your rearview mirror, you're driving, and you're just like, I mean, finally, because that's where we all kind of want to when we have a build. Obviously, a build this caliber, you're just you're looking at where do I want to be, and then that's where you were. You were coming home from SEMA, and not only did you show up to SEMA, but this thing had an audience nonstop.
That was just unreal to see. Just unreal to see the amount of people that just are around the truck all day long. And you're just going, wow, very humbling. When you bring something in, you're like, you know, everybody wants to bring something that is different, something that no one's done, and something like that. So it was definitely cool to see that and see the attention it gets, see, you know, everybody just going, wow, this thing's bitching. That's super cool. That was humbling.
So you got another C50 that you recently picked up. Now, what's your plan? Is this something where, because I would think, are you going to do this again? Because it's been kind of a crazy build for you.
So I'm not going to do a crew cab again, not out of this one. The new blue one is going to be a car hauler again. I think there's been talks about somebody wants it. My cousins kind of talked about it too. So it might be another car hauler, unsure. You know, we'll see. But I'm definitely going to start it, get it on the ground, Duramax it, but leaving a standard cab because the patina's on it just flawless. And I can't commit to cutting that thing in half. I just can't do it.
Is this the same cousin that has the service body?
The service body, yeah. He wants to be able to haul it.
Pacific Locators, something like that. So just to refresh the audience, SEMA 2016-17, Travis CTP built like a 65 service body truck, blue, slammed on the ground. It was also kind of an AccuAir truck that you were showcase vehicle. And take us back, for going back to this thing, you know, the night train. Take us back to like, what was your just the lowest point?
Man, there's a few of them.
Of the 6 low points, which one comes to mind? I mean, is it just because it was such a one-off custom build?
I think what it comes down to is no matter what you build, you're going to have problems. And you're going to come across those hurdles, and you have to it's how you handle those hurdles to get past them and move on. And it depends to your time frame. You're sitting there stressed out. You're going, man, we only have X amount of days to get this thing going. I mean, me and Jeremy Colcart, we spent probably all night long, 2 nights just welding this bed up to make sure it got the powder coat in time. You know, there's just countless nights like that. I had a problem with the motor. I had to pull the cab back off, put new injectors in it, everything like 2 weeks before SEMA, so the cab had to come back off the frame to get you can't access anything with the frame, with the body on there. So I had Nick, I think was his name, Guy Woods on Instagram. He came over, helped me out getting the injectors in this thing, and everyone really pulled through. I gotta say, everybody who put their time and effort into this thing is really what made it happen too. You know, I have hours and hours and hours of myself into it, but there's a lot of guys that have a lot of hours in this thing as well. You know, the detailer, he gets handed the week before, here you go, buddy. And he has Brian at Impressions Auto Salon. He's sitting there wet sanding this thing, spending 24 hours a day the week before to make it look all pretty and bitching for SEMA. So, you know, all these guys that came together to get it finished is what made it happen.
Oh, I love that you're giving them credit, because I mean, you are kind of a one-man show. I mean, you all, and Amber, your wife, probably, you know, the amount of work she does for you. But really, honestly, you, Jeremy, and I think that, you know, for you to give credit to all those, you know, that, you know, that wouldn't happen without all these people that you've kind of, you know, even with Cisco, I know when you got the Suburban and you worked through all that. And for the audience, last year, almost exactly a year ago, we were out here. We drove, we went over to the shop, and we were like, is he really going to get this thing done for SEMA? And you, I don't know, were you ever like even 2019 thinking, dude, I didn't make it in 2018, I've got to make it, because it had to be close?
Yeah, I had no choice. I had no choice but to be there. And there's definitely times, you know, when I didn't even have a bed built until 3 weeks before SEMA. You know, the bed got built last, basically, and I didn't have a bed for it, so I'm sitting there just stressed out, and you're just trying to get all the little details done because you want it finished how you want it finished. And I had friends flying in. My friend Bobby flew in. He's sitting there welding on stuff, and back when I was doing the floor and all that kind of stuff, he was there, and just countless guys. I had a guy, my buddy John, with his Peterbilt and his Landau, shows up on Saturday night saying, "I got to leave by 9 a.m, man. This thing better be on the truck."
Ready to go. I remember when when he picked it up. Was it hard to sell? Was it hard to sell?
Honestly, so it just kind of happened. A friend of mine posted a picture of the truck, and another guy hit it up saying, "Will he sell the truck?" And it's going to RecTech barbecue grills in Georgia, and they're going to use it for advertising and stuff like that. And super awesome guys. And
so I would say, let me rephrase it. When the guy called you and said, "Would you sell it?" Was it like yes, or was it like let me, or was it like
I didn't have to advertise it on Craigslist?
No, I'm just saying, was it hard for you? Like, did it take you 3 minutes to say yes, or did it take you like 3 days to say yes?
I'll be honest, this truck is really hard to let go of. It's the cool part about this thing is I can put the whole family in it. We put both car seats in there, and me and Amber and the boys, we've jumped in this thing a handful of times and driven over here to Auburn and, back and forth and taking it places, and it's just fun to drive with the family. The truck runs and drives so killer. You're just going, man, do I really want to let this thing go? Because it's the perfect show vehicle for the family, because you can fit everybody in it. It's not like my little standard cab short bed where it's like, oh, yeah, who's going? And, short straws. But with this one, it's that's the coolest part about it, And Amber's really the reason why this thing's a crew cab, so it's her fault. She was the one who basically said, if you're gonna build it, you got to make it a crew cab. Don't puss out now.
Well, and then that's good because you got the support of her as the journey went from year to year, and at the end of the day, you did it. And your team, your wife. Even little T helping out. What a cool story. And we'll be watching, what's next. Is the C50 next? What else do you have? What else you got going on?
There's some other projects that need to get finished up in the shop first. And then the C50 will be, probably before, probably within the year. Start on that one. And then I have some ideas of stuff I want to build for myself. I got to build the wife a Nova. I think she wants a little Nova wagon or something. So
Chevy 2 style or wagon?
66 wagon. Okay. So if anybody knows one for sale, let me know.
Yeah, hit him up. He's got a pocket full of money because he just sold the night train. So a little a Chevy 2 Nomad wagon. We need Amber to have one of those, and she can haul the whole family around and the boys. So
she needs her project now. It's I have an idea to build another crew cab though, so another one's on the horizon.
He's crazy. I'm going to let you go. Thank you for, this journey, this build. And, it's just been one of those cool things that it's cool for us to see on this side, to be honest with you. It's cool to see that you not only, you finished the race and you went through the checkered flag and you did it, because I know at times it had to be, and we had some phone calls and different things. And it's like, dude, this thing's just kicking my butt. But you did it and you prevailed.
Well, I couldn't have done without everybody, so it's not just me. The hours I put in, but it's the hours everybody else that helped me out with it. That's what, and all the support of you guys, and you and.
Yeah, we like to push you. We just like to push you. It's easy when you're in the office and you're like, "Are you really not done with that thing?" Hey, we're gonna come up on the intervention cruise and just look at you and go, "Why the hell are you? You're not even close to being done yet."
Yeah, and then poke and prod, but that's what gets you going to prove guys go, "Yeah, look, it's done." And to be able to drive it in and out of SEMA, I think, is a big thing to me. I didn't want to have to push it. You hear the horror stories of people pushing trucks in there and not finish and getting back from SEMA, having to tear the whole thing down, start over. I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to go as a finished truck and be done and not have to tear all the way back into it. There's always stuff you got to get into, but to get deep into it is what I didn't want to do.
You did it, brother. You did it. We're going to let him go. He's going to wash this thing down, or wipe it down, I should say, as the show gets going this morning. Travis, thanks, brother.
Thank you, buddy.
So you bought a C10, and it either had AC at one time or it wasn't even an option. Well, Vintage Air has the solution for you. Their SureFit kits are designed to place the evaporator and hoses behind the dash for a factory clean look. In most cases, the SureFit systems will be controlled by your stock dash controls using their exclusive cable converters. In some applications, a new factory look control panel is included with the kit. The SureFit systems provide full OEM style operations, including air conditioning, floor or vent heating, and a powerful defroster. To retain a true factory look, the AC air exits through the factory dash louvers if originally equipped in your truck. The Gen 4 kit provides infinite, just right temperature, air blending, and blower fan speed adjustments. The Vintage Air SureFit kits are the best value and the most completely engineered air conditioning system you can install in your C10. Add the fact that Vintage Air has been the most respected name in performance aftermarket climate control systems for 40 years. 40 years? Damn, son. The choice is obvious. VintageAir.com.
I've got Kathy White, Classic Performance Products, CPP on the line. Kathy, how's it going?
Hey, Ronnie, what's up?
What's up? What's new?
We've got a ton of things for the C10 community. First things first, our 2.5-inch Extreme X10 drop spindle. So we've upgraded the current modular spindle to modern technology. This new X10 spindle is a one-piece forged, but it utilizes strong, modern, bolt-in, internally sealed bearing hub assembly. So it's low maintenance. It doesn't move the wheels out, and you can use big brakes from us or any aftermarket big brakes out there in the market.
That's awesome. What else is new?
So we have actually gone back and redesigned our aluminum fuel tanks. As you know, our fuel tanks are the thickest, strongest, and largest capacity in the industry. But now you can actually use the same tank for either a carbureted or a fuel injection application. 63 to 72, it's 20 gallons. And for 73 and newer, 22-gallon capacity.
How about that coilover kit? You guys must be killing it with that thing.
That is such a great kit. It's fully bolt-on. It's easy to install. Strongest tubular arms in the market, available with either upper and lower or just the lowers or just a coilover kit by themselves. All the mounting brackets that you need, and it also comes with dual adjustable coilover shocks. So it's really responsive. It's up to you however you want to tune the compression or the rebound. It's perfect if you're just cruising on the streets, and it's proven on the track.
Well, that's what we like. So if you need spindles, the new X10, fuel tanks, coilovers, they've got it. Classic Performance Products, CPP, and don't forget, use code C10TALK, C10TALK at checkout and save 10%. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you, Ronnie.
We've got a rare duckling here. I've got Carlos Maldonado. Carlos, where are you out of?
Fairfield, California.
Fairfield, and I tell you what, he's got this little two-wheel drive 72 Blazer, and there's a few things that when you look at it, it catches your eye. First of all, it's a two-wheel drive Blazer CST, and it's really OG. But then kind of get to talking, and this thing's got a unique story. Tell us a little bit about like the history of this Blazer, Carlos.
All right, well, it's out of Florida. It was on consignment, and my wife found it online, and I bought it. When we got it, we noticed there was some weird stuff. Some of the interior was kind of a cream color. So another friend of ours told us it was a Highlander, which I never even heard of one. I found out later that it's kind of a rare duck, especially in a two-wheel drive. So we've been putting it back to Highlander. We have the avocado interior plaid. We're putting it back to original. We want the kids, the younger people, to see what they used to look like in 72 and how cool us old people were back then.
That's true. I'll tell you what, it's all coming back around. So not only is it a 72 Highlander two-wheel drive, that right there makes it kind of a rare bird, but then it's medium olive. It was originally, and the guy had it painted. So when you look at it, you're like, well, what the hell's going on? What is the color that he painted it?
You know, I think it's called a Hunter or Forest Green, and it is a GM color from 72, but they only used it on trucks. And the gentleman who, I got it from the original owner, and he's out of Michigan, a big car collector from what I understand. When he got the truck, GM wouldn't paint it in the Hunter Green for him. So the day he bought it, he took it to the shop, had them strip it and paint it in the Hunter Green, and it's still in the Hunter Green, 45 years later.
Do you know why he painted it that color?
He told me his wife liked the truck color. You know, I talked to the guy one time. He's like 90 years old, awesome gentleman. And I talked to him for, 10, 15 minutes, and he gave me a little background on the truck. He saw one. He liked the truck. He knew they were coming out with a new package, an interior package, the Highlander package. So he actually ordered this one and had it delivered to him in March with the Highlander package, but they didn't start putting the Highlander packages in the Blazers until mid of 2072. 1972, sorry. And so he got it before that. And then when he got it home, he didn't like the medium olive poly, so he had it. His wife said she wanted it darker, so he painted it the Chevy truck green. It's pretty. I like it.
For sure. Not only that, but single wall top. He had the top redone. She sits real nice. We do a little 4.6 on it. What'd you do on it?
Exactly. I did a 4.6. When it came off the trailer, I still have the factory everything, factory spindles, everything. But it looked like it was a baby giraffe. It just looked kind of weird that high. So me and a buddy of mine and my wife, we got underneath this thing, took out all the stuff, kept it pure. We still have all the stuff, and we just put drop spindles on it and lowered the rear end. And I think we got it to a nice ride height. It's still a little higher than a lot of these younger guys got their stuff slammed to the ground, but I'm trying to keep some of the integrity of its age. So it's old like me. It doesn't want to be too low.
I think it's perfect, to be honest with you. It really is. The way you have it, it is actually timeless. Now, how long have you had this thing?
Well, we bought it my wife got it for me, true story. My wife bought it for me for my 50th birthday, so we've had it 5 years because I turned 55 a couple days ago. So we had it 5 years, and really we haven't done much. I mean, we've changed the interior. We had the top freshened up, repainted, and put new rims and tires on them. Other than that, this is kind of how we got them off the trailer. Of course, we lowered them, and we did some body bushings because they were older and squeaky, cracking. So, we've done little things to it, but other than that, how you see it is how we got it.
So let me get this straight. Your wife not only found the Blazer, your wife actually bought it for you. Your wife is behind you on this thing.
Big time. She loves going to the shows. She doesn't like driving it. It's kind of big for her, so all she does is back it out of the driveway. And believe it or not, my wife details this car before we go to every show. She pretty much is like my pit crew, and she's awesome, And she found my Blazer for me, and she gave me 8 kids, so she's a beast, man. So me and her forever. It's all there is to it.
How do you find somebody like that? I don't even. So she finds the Blazer, she buys the Blazer. Yeah, you got it going good.
Yeah, I know.
So what do you call it?
A Maldo. It's Maldo 72. So Maldo's my last name, shortened up, and then 72 is the year. So it just made it easy.
And no social.
No, man. I'm old. I don't know how to do podcasts or none of that crap.
You're not that old. Come on, man. All right, I'm going to walk around. I'm going to do a little video of this thing. Super killer Blazer. Amazing wife, and you're living the good life, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming out and checking it out. I appreciate it.
Take care.
You too.
Of course, I want you to look at everybody's Instagram that we bring on the show, but do yourself a favor. If you're not following, I'm going to call him Rad Brad, but Brad Coleman _originals on Instawiener, write it down right now and jump over there. Because if you like craftsmanship, if you like originality, if you like really cool rad stuff, and ultimately you've heard me say it, you've heard everybody say it in a sea of C10s, there's things that you just don't see that are different. Well, you're going to see something different. You're going to look in deeper and see what Brad's doing with this truck and be like, man, that is so cool. And just the craftsmanship, the skill level. Brad, thanks for coming on C10 Talk, bringing your truck out. This thing's rad, dude.
Absolutely. Thank you.
What's the story? How long have you had it? What's the plan?
I've had this truck for about 6 years now, but really been digging into it. For about 2 years. Just piece by piece, trying to get it done.
We've been hanging out here for 20 minutes. We didn't have one truck, and then we just happened to get a truck. So we're at a show, so don't mind the ambiance. But so you've had it for 6-7 years, and then the last 2 years, your idea is coming to fruition, and you're really getting behind it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I drove this thing as a daily driver for probably 3 years or so, and then I blew the motor up, and it just sat. And it really gave me the chance to just step back, look at it, and see what I really wanted to do with it. And so the whole idea of having a utility bed be different, something. And, it was just kind of something that I wanted. And it wasn't really me building this because I wanted to be different from everybody else. It was just, I thought it was cool, and I wanted to make it. So
let's be honest. You're probably a little different yourself, Brad.
Oh, absolutely. I am totally different. I am...
He's got the mullet going. He's got a style of his own, and that's what makes him unique. And his truck is no different. And I do kind of like that, where your truck kind of resembles the owner and the builder. Now you said you're a pipe fitter by day. Now you get to come home and you get to kind of just let go.
Yeah, I've got 4 boys and a wife, and I love them to death. And so, family comes first. And then every last little second that I get is down in my shop, wrenching away, cutting, welding, fabbing up, making it is what it is today.
Now, you've been working on it a few years, 2 years. The motor, you said you blew up the original motor. Walk us through this motor, because right now, somebody might not even think, oh, this is just a long bed service truck if they're walking by it today. You've got your clamshell, bed floor lifted. There's some really killer work going on there. Everything he's done himself, his fuel tank, everything. He's built it, made it, from scratch, really. Now this motor is just off the chains. What's the thoughts on this? This motor does not match this truck. Let's go with that.
It doesn't, but that's kind of the point. I wanted to be able to have a hood closed and open it up and be like, what is that? So I've always been a fan of like 60s dragsters, the real old school diggers, rail jobs. And I wanted to have kind of a setback motor look. I got the Hillborn style injection on it, and I like metal flakes. So I figured polish some stuff up and spray it gold, make it a centerpiece. You open up the hood and you just get that wow factor.
Offenhauser valve covers. Who made those headers?
I did.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. Dude, these headers, everything that he's got going on throughout the whole thing, the chassis itself, the control arms, everything is fabbed up, and it's just ridiculous. So it's a 6.0, what tranny?
It's got a 4080.
4080, you're running 373 gears, I think, in the back, you said?
411s.
411, 410 with a GM 12 bolt. Do you have like a name for the motor? I mean, the motor could have its own name.
I don't have a name. I honestly don't have a name. There's the name for the truck is the CST. It is a CST model, and it was custom sport truck. Yep. And so in doing the whole design and the renderings for this thing, it kind of just clicked where it's now the custom service truck. So it still works, got the plates, and so it's named the custom service truck.
About how far out do you think you are? What's your goal to get this thing like up, running, driving, screaming down the road?
So I'd love to have it done tomorrow, but I mean, let's be honest, it's me. I've got no real help. I've got a few friends that come over and help here and there, but it's all me. So I would love to say I'll have it done in a year. I've gotten to this point in 2 years. Reasonably be a year if I've got the funds and the time to do it. But I've made a promise to myself, because this will be finished painted. It's not going to be a patina car. I'm going to have it painted before I wire it, because I know that if I wire this thing up and get it on the road, it'll never get painted. So I got to stick to my dream and, get it painted and then wire it up, and then it should be on the road. Hopefully a year, maybe a year and a half. If it stretches out to 2 years, it'll all be worth it.
What color are you going to paint it?
I'm going with a 2018 Chevy color called Pepper Dust. It's like if you look on the side tone of it, it's a almost like a primer gray, but it's got a real fine gold pearl metallic that pops in the sunlight on it.
Cool. Now, will you paint it?
I'm not sure yet. I might. I painted the motor. I've done painting on cars before, but I haven't gotten to that bridge yet. We'll cross it when I get there, but I might. I'm entertaining the idea.
I don't know, man. I mean, where do you stop? This thing is gorgeous, your amount of work and craftsmanship. And the gold is, I mean, you just dig gold. You just gold flake. So, again, for the audience audio perspective, he's got this 6.0 that's shiny. I will post a picture, but it's got this, gold flake just in the right spots.
Yeah, I didn't want too much of it, because there's so many times when something gets painted and it's just a little bit too much of it. I wanted to have a great balance between the raw metal for right now and, the polished and the satin and the metal flake and all the other, finishes out there, but still keeping in the same family, and then just have a little extra, amount of shine.
It's like this old school George Barris thing where it's got that pop, and it's got to make you feel good, because as we even just sit here, this morning we've been here for an hour, and like every person with a camera comes by and then they stop, and then the motor stops them in their tracks. It's got to make you feel good.
Absolutely. It totally does. I mean, earlier, a friend of mine has his daughters here at the show, and she came up, and, you know, she's like, it's so pretty, you know? And it's cool to be able to bring people that may or may not be as into the car world as, you know, me or you, than just being that one thing that maybe brings them in. You know, somebody walking by that's like, oh yeah, that's a cool car, whatever. And then they look and they're like, whoa, maybe there's something a little extra there, you know, and maybe that's that one thing that gets them into vehicles, whether it be cars or trucks or anything. You know, I really push that, you know, it's like that one little thing that you do, the little extra might be that one thing that gets somebody else into the scene. You know, it inspires them. It makes them want to build something. So, you know, I like doing a little bit of extra to things like that.
Well, you've done a great job. For the audience, again, check him out, Coleman_Originals. You will not be let down. Just the craftsmanship, what he's doing, his vision. Hopefully he's going to get those boys out there helping him. I like your, you know, plan. Hey, 1 year, 2 years. I've already been working on it 2 years. I'll get it done eventually. The CST. He's got the plate. He's got the vision. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
Not one, not two, three of the baddest rigs here. Rosario out of the Bay Area, RPW, WPR on Instagram. I don't know that he even could showcase all this on his Instagram, but really, I mean, this guy right here sucks me in, and then I find out you own 2 more of these things. Why you into them so much?
Just something I like since I was a young kid. My uncle used to have one, so it just just stuck with me. So one's not enough, right?
Well, yeah, you've got it down. But I tell you what, it's not just that you've got one. It's not that you got 2. It's not that you got 3. You got style. Your style on these is point on. Your wheel setup, your drivetrain, your interior, what you've done, the scrolling. So it's not just that you have an addiction to these trucks. It's what I see you do. What's your formula? Where does that come from?
Just shoot from the hip, just looking for something different, just trying to stand out, right? Just not making your basic truck, but just keep it different and just shoot from the hip. There's no plan in place for sure.
Who does all the work?
Ray Beltran, he's around here somewhere. He's the owner of this red C10 and a couple other buddies, but overall he's the one that does all the paint work.
Are you guys like a club, just a group of homies? I mean, you got a little area here, we're all hanging out. I mean, what's just your group of dudes you found throughout the process?
No, it's a group, right? We were with Imperius and then just a bunch of other guys that are just fanatics of the C10s.
Let's go over here and look at this thing. So, again, he's got 3 here. He's got a 72. He's got a Blazer on the ground, supercharged. And then he's got another 71, 72 that's, again, second to none. Rosario, tell us about this build. This thing is the scrolling work that you've done here. I can't imagine the time or had done. What's this build process? What's the name? Tell us about this truck.
It's been quite a while for the process, right? I started with just your basic, it was a rally truck, and then started with the wheels. Some guy just had them for sale. They were engraved, and that's where kind of everything took off, right? It started from the interior, then the hood. Just one thing to the next.
The interior, I kind of stuck my head in there. It smells like you killed about 6 cows. It smells gorgeous. I mean, it's perfect. The leather, the layout. Do you drive these a lot?
Yeah, well, this brown one I've driven all the way to San Bernardino. I try to drive them as much as I can, but yeah, I try not to, drive them the most, right, until they're complete, but yeah, do what we can.
I think it's stressful to have one of these, right? How is it to have 3?
A fucking pain in the ass. The problems never end.
Yeah, more money, more problems. I mean, to keep them all clean, to transport them all up here. Do you have a name for this brown one?
I don't. I just put the tags on there, 1972, but I don't have any names for any of them, quite honestly.
Okay. 1972, the Browntown. What chassis are you running on this thing?
This one's Porter built on the front end, and then they did a back half on the back from Los Rod Shop.
And motor?
6.0.
That intake and that scrolling. Let's go over here and check out this Blazer. So he's got a supercharged Blazer. Original two-wheel drive, not that it really matters, 4-wheel drive.
It was a 4x4 originally.
What chassis?
It's Acme chassis right now.
Okay, Acme chassis, supercharged LSA, big old slosh tubs on the ground. Kind of a candy apple, but not a candy. This looks candy. This looks like, man, this looks candy. Yeah, I guess it is candy. Yeah, it looks just different lighting. We're under the light here. What's the story on this thing?
I just always wanted a Blazer more because I was kind of restricted with the other one with my kids. So I wanted something where I could take them to school and whatnot. So I started with this project. It was a 4x4. I think it was all rusted. And like I said, my buddy Ray just stripped it all down, completely rebuilt it for me, and had other buddies help, like Josh from Ferris Motorsports. Did a lot of work on it, and California Upholstery, and a little bit of everything.
I mean, the intros on this thing, 22, 24, what are you running?
24s.
Yeah, they don't go small around here. Rosario does not mess around. 24 intros, leather interior. The dash on this and the way that you guys did the dash on this, they did keep the left and right stock bezel, stock glove box, but a ton of other craftsmanship. I'll do some photos and some pictures. I mean, give me a break. Who made that?
Rad Machining. Yeah, they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, they've got 3D K5 Blazer fender emblem with supercharged. It's popping off like a 3D with a V8 LSA emblem on the front. 72 Blazer, and just beautiful. What do you call this one? No name again? The Blazer?
The Blazer, yeah, the Blazer.
Okay, so let's go check out the last one. Usually I spend about 5 minutes. I could spend 20 with Rosario. This thing is OG classic, blue and white two-tone, 71-ish. What's the story on this one, bro?
This one was actually my buddy's truck. He painted it, did everything. I just went ahead and redid the interior, swapped out the motor, threw a 7.0 on it, and just kind of making my hot rod truck. This is the race one.
Big old rear tub fenders, big hoops, tons of lip, another set of intros, 22 by 12, 14. Okay, yeah, they're deep. Two-tone, you can never go wrong with a two-tone, blue and white. Again, the way that these guys do their interior, who's your interior guy, man? He's doing a really good job.
California Upholstery up in Bell Gardens.
Yeah, and really, this truck isn't his. We're right next to another truck in their group. Same setup. You could tell they've got kind of like it's kind of like an NBS-style seat that's cut down and formed, and then a beautiful console, cup holders. I'll take some videos. I'll go through all three of his trucks just to kind of put a video with it. LS7 on this thing, hot rod. So you could keep one of the three. Which one?
Probably the Blazer, just so I could keep my kids could ride with me.
Yeah, it's cool. Now, you obviously have an affinity to keep building these things. You have a passion for it. I assume these aren't the first three that you've owned. You've probably owned a lot. What's next?
A shop truck with a little flatbed lifted on a diesel engine. We'll see how that one plays out.
Is it going? Is it being built right now?
No, not yet. I have one in sight, which I got to start building.
Okay, so same style, 69, 72 style, and then you're going to do long bed, shop truck, flatbed?
No, it's just 71, 72. I don't move from those 2 years, and then it would be a short bed, flatbed, short flatbed, and then just lift it on some 22s.
With a diesel?
Yeah, diesel turbo engine for sure.
All right, if you guys want to check them out, it's Rosario, and it's RPW, WPR. Do you post a lot of trucks on there? It looked like it was some family stuff. Okay.
Not a whole lot. Just keep.
Let's get it posted up on there. I'll do some. I mean, you guys have great style. I think it's cool to come out here and you see something a little different. You and your group are doing a great job. Thanks for taking time. Thanks for the gorgeous builds and the time that you've put into it and the money and it's great for the C10 community because we get to see these trucks and. Do you get approached a lot for people to buy them?
Yeah, I was actually getting approached. They wanted to buy the brown one today, but there's always someone, right? And like I say, name the price. So if they got the money, we'll sell them and build another one.
Everything's for sale. Hit them up, guys. Thanks, Rosario.
Thank you.
Dude, I love this Rat Apache. I've got Ben Rat Apache _. Pig nose, 60 or 61?
60.
Welcome to C10 Talk, Ben. Tell us about this truck, dude. It's definitely the patina is popping, bro.
So yeah, I've had it about 5 years. It's been a fun build. I pretty much took a farm truck and left it alone and beat the piss out of it for a good 3 years after I built it. So it's been many different lives, but it's looked exactly the same the whole time. So it's been fun. It's It started out with the little straight six and everything all frozen. I pulled it out, put a stroker in it, had a bunch of fun, blew up the rear end, put a 12-bolt in it, put a built turbo 350 in it, had my fun with it. Got a little tired of that setup, so I bagged the whole thing down. I Z'd it 4.5 inches, cupped the lowers 3 inches with CPP tubular arms, and then did the Performance Online full disc brake swap, threw a set of race lines on it, and pretty much just drive the hell out of it. So it's been fun. I put the LS1 in it now, so it's still a turbo 350 hooked up with an LS1. Nice long first gear. Fun for burnouts, fun for taking it on, drag strips and stuff. So, I mean, I've taken and done everything with it, so it's been a fun build.
Where'd you find it? I mean, it's one of those trucks where to hear you talk about that journey, if you start with the right truck, you can have a lifetime of adventure with the truck, just redoing it, beating the piss out of it, and you've done that.
Breaking it and fixing it and breaking it and fixing it. That's the fun thing about these patina trucks is you just keep, building it and building it up as it goes, but don't mess with the paint and let people just sit on it, put their drinks on it, have fun with it. It's still a truck.
Where'd you find it?
Actually, funny story. My dad and Renee, C10 King, have known each other since like the early 80s. And my dad actually picked this up from 5 years ago, about 6 years ago. And then got like kind of ill for a while. And I ended up picking it up after him after I got in a Harley accident. So this was my daily driver after I had like $1,200 and my dad gave me a free truck. So I put the stroker in it, junkyard built the whole thing, road killed it, and then it's never looked back since. So actually, I picked it up off of Renee.
Yeah, the Renee through your dad. That's a good guy. I don't know if Renee passes up on something. I'm not too sure, but the patina again is off the charts. So you've got a 60. It's a blue color. Obviously, the patina and is just coming through. Now, one of the things I think you did a really good job with is you got the right wheels, and it looks like you haven't. And I don't mean this disrespectfully. You haven't really cleaned them that much. No, so the race lines look really good.
These things beat up, and I was like, that's perfect. They're not like super shiny. They're nice wheels, but they still have their little blemishes and stuff like the truck. So it gives the truck the rest of the character. I want this thing to be a driver. I don't want it to be on the, you know what I mean? I daily this thing still. I still use it. So that was a fun thing with it is I wanted it to be able to still take if something happens to it. It's not something terrible. You know what I mean?
What's your air management system?
Full SLAM specialties on it with the ABS controller. So the SLAM SV8.
What compressors?
ABS, not ABS, Via Air.
Like a 440?
Yeah, 440s.
Talk about the interior here. So you've done another, just less is more. You've got,
so this is actually the factory interior. I just, repainted over time. It's got Falcon door handles, early 55 ivory handles, like the still white ones in it. I left it looking like a stick shift, but it has a low car shifter in it. I've done a lot of like little miscellaneous things. I did the deluxe cluster. That was an option for those years. I did the deluxe steering wheel. That was an option for this year. Put a little original PG&E first aid kit with all the stuff still in it. So I try to keep everything, along the lines of just subtle and hidden things, pinstriped everything. Dominguez Customs in Stockton pinstriped the whole truck for me. So that was a big little finishing to it.
I think in the C10 world, we're really spoiled because we can get a lot of parts, but I do feel like, are these first, 60, 61s, are they tough to get parts for?
So, yes, they're impossible to find parts for. And if you find parts, you know who you're buying them off of. It's a small world. Everybody who has a pig nose knows each other. From LA all the way to the North Bay, all the way down to the East Coast. There's not too many of us. It was cool, though. When I picked this thing up, these things were forgotten. People were ripping the hoods off of them and, you know what I mean, throwing the 66 hoods on them. So that was a big thing when I was building it. I wanted to leave it alone and keep the 60 thing. So that was the hardest thing, like finding the V8 emblem for the front end. That was impossible. I found that finally and, like, little things here and there. But luckily, the truck actually is pretty much how I got it. I've just polished it out. I didn't clear coat it. I just had it pinstriped.
I'll tell you what, I mean, it embodies the C10 spirit. We just walked from, a $120,000 C10 right next to you, and you've got this guy.
Grand total, $6,000 I'm into this truck.
You're into it for $6,000, but a ton of labor, right?
Oh, yeah,
and you could buy those wheels. You probably got a couple grand just in those wheels.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I think it really does embody just the spirit of find yourself a truck. They're still out there. Maybe it's something that's been passed up, put to the side, and get your ass in, buying these things, and then, buy it if you can, and build it and have a good time, and that's what you're doing, Ben.
Yeah, do it yourself. That's the biggest thing I was doing. When I got this truck, it was seeing everybody else building things, seeing all these shops, and it's like, okay, well, I have a garage. I have friends who weld. It's always about not being too, narrow-minded, being open, having your buddies come over, have a beer with you. That's what building trucks and, having fun's about, getting the community together, reaching out to different. I had so many people help me when I built this truck in the C10 community. That was great. The C10 Club is awesome with all that stuff.
What do people, when they see it, what's kind of the reaction?
Usually, why is it dragging on the ground, and why can't I keep up with you? That's usually the two the two things that I get.
'Cause you're bat out of hell, or what? You're just on it all the time?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have fun with these things. You got to let the pipes just rip. And
you're doing it. You're letting it rip. You're out here in style. You guys could check them out. @Apache_. Thanks, Ben.
I appreciate it, man.
Showstopper. Brett Haskin out here. Got to feel good. There's been a crowd around this truck the whole time, Brett. I mean, it's a stunner. Walk us through this beautiful 67 GMC, 68? Okay, shaved. So he's got a 68 GMC. Color, wheels, stance, motor. The recipe.
First of all, start with GSI, Scott. We all know Scott. He's a big help. Helped me with all suspension questions. Paint, overcast, stock GM color. Wheels, intro, 22s, 12s in the back, 8s in the front. Motor, my friend Jeff Grass built. LS3 cam, port and polished. Some custom stuff on there. GMC valve covers, which nobody has because we're the stepchild, Yeah. So
well, you got a big old Holly intake. Yeah, so he's got a LS3. I think just got. Have you put it down to the pavement yet? Have you had that kind of shakedown time with it?
We have put it down on the pavement. It's got about almost 600 miles on it now. Dynoed 440 at the tires. Got a 6L80 behind it, so cruising down the freeway, 2,100 RPMs, 80.
Rear, what gears are you running?
373s, 12-inch, pretty much. A lot of custom fabrication from Myers Works, my buddy over here. He did all the sheet metal stuff inside the bed, under the hood, some standard rust stuff as well. And you also have my painter, is Garage Built Customs. He did an excellent job. He just went out on his own, so this is his first complete. So we're all very proud of the truck. Like I said, a lot of friends help with this. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Well, I think you have the recipe. You talked about it. You got the GSI, the LS3, the stance. Looks like you've got the GSI handles as well, I assume. And then, is it Marquet trim?
Marquet trim.
Okay, so the Marquet trim with these intro wheels, the way that you did that, and then you went with the painted front bumpers, and the front bumper and the rear bumper, they're not just cold chilling, they're tucked, like Chip Foose overhauling style tucked, and really all the metalwork, slosh tubs, the cowl, what hinges, hood hinges, are those like the switches?
Those are Porta-Built. Switch just came out with theirs after I bought those, so missed out on that opportunity. But yeah, the front bumper's tucked, back bumper's tucked, shortened, and also tilted to match the back body line. Back of the tailgate shaved, all the inner panels, got the tubs in the back. Good friend and cabinet guy did the bed. That's all African zebra wood.
So let me ask you this, Brett. Are you the builder, the visionary guy? You sound like you've got a lot of people behind you that you've kind of general contracted and farmed this out. What's your role besides cashing them checks?
I am the general contractor on it. I've done a lot of stuff myself, but I do know my limits, so I let the professionals make it look tight and pretty, and help them with the credit too, help them keep going with their business as well.
I like it. Like you said, it's like I know where I'm good and what I can do. Now, are you a C10 guy? Is this your first C10?
Not my first C10. I'm actually an OBS guy, but this is the truck I always wanted since high school, and it took me a whole half a lifetime to get it. So we're here.
Cool. So is this your first show with it?
This is the third show. It actually went to Autorama in Sacramento with its debut. For ARC Audio, they sponsored the stereo, and what you can hear sounds great. And
good tunes, by the way.
Went to C10 Palooza in Turlock. We got Best Custom there, and so we're out here at C10 Intervention today, trying to take home some trophies too.
Well, and I think you already are, right? So we see that the Dash he's been picked for an award. What air management system are you running?
It is AccuAir. I think I got it all dialed in now. You know, the AccuAir obviously is great. It's too bad it's no longer with us.
R.I.P.
It's no longer with us, but I'm happy with it.
Let me drag you over here. So we were kind of away from the truck. Obviously, you can hear the audio, so we're going to have to turn it up a little bit. But I just kind of want to look inside. The color combo, the zebra wood. He's got the Fox shocks. He's got a Boyd tank. And really, I'll throw out, he's got the AccuAir. He's got the CVT. I'll throw out some pics real quick. I like how you beveled that wood. Obviously, it's going to sit down. Is this a tricky setup? How do you get this to go up? Just the struts?
Just the struts. Just pushes down and stays down.
Okay. All right. Who did all your exhaust work? That's beautiful.
Myers Works did the exhaust work. Same guy that did all the sheet metal fab. You know, it's kind of we put our heads together and always come up with some great ideas.
What are these for?
These are D-rings. He worked for a 4x4 fabrication guy, so we kind of inspired us to do a little 4x4 thing, but these also serve for easy takeoff of the bed for maintenance.
Yeah, that makes sense. All four corners. He's got some D-rings. He's going to turn it down a little bit. You got the exhaust coming out right in front of the wheel wells. You got your lowered brackets. Custom seat. Is it snowed in?
Snowed in seat, yeah. Marquez design tail lights. Those guys are great. Marquez design. Pretty much full interior except for the kick panels. And those guys are awesome too. I grew up with those guys, and you know they're from Woodland, so had to represent some of their stuff as well. We got the Dakota digital gauges. A lot of the best you could get, I guess, for bolt-on stuff.
What was the hardest part?
The hardest part, hitting the finish line, for sure. The hardest part was putting it back together, making sure everything fit right without messing up the paint, because there was a couple instances where I gave it some new scratches, but we took care of them. But honestly, the time it takes and hitting the home run and getting it done is the hardest part by far.
That last 5-10%, you know, just trying to get all those little details. It really does look like you guys hit it all. The paint, beautiful. People are loving it, dude.
I appreciate it, man. I want everyone to appreciate it. And like I said, a lot of great help building this thing. So we'll see if we're going to do another one soon.
Yeah, once you get the recipe down. Now, have you been approached? Is this something that you would sell, or is this something like, hey, I want to really enjoy it?
I really want to enjoy it right now, but at the end of the day, everything's for sale.
You ain't lying. There you go. I'll run around real quick and take some pictures. Also a video, you guys, for out there in Podland. Brett Haskins with an H, and it's Brett1001.
Brett_1001.
There you go. Brett_1001. Check him out. Do you have a name for this thing, Brett?
We don't. The snowball effect.
It is the snowball effect. Well, it's bitching, dude. Thanks for taking the time. We love your truck. Check him out, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys. One of the biggest upgrades I was able to make on Orange Slice is my lighting. Think about this. You've got your old school sealed yellow lights. You put in new United Pacific headlights, boom, quadruple the lightage. They look better, they perform better, and guess what? They're safer. So you've got LED options, you've got new headlight options, they look great, and honestly, we upgrade so many things with our trucks, why not upgrade the lighting? When you do, think United Pacific. Here's the best part. You get to save 15% off all C10 products by using code C10TALK15. Save 15% off all C10 products by using code C10TALK15. Go to upcarparts.com. That's right, upcarparts.com. I don't think you'll forget it. Save today. Thanks, guys. Give them a follow on social media too, Facebook and Instagram. Marquet has been in business for over 40 years. It all started in the original owner's garage. From humble beginnings of a couple parts in a garage to a 2-building manufacturing facility making over 6,000 parts, Marquet has grown to be one of the country's premier truck parts manufacturers. They not only design the products, but also design the tooling to build the products, guaranteeing quality control. They have made their original parts from the original trucks. Aluminum strips are double polished, creating a mirror finish, and crystal clear anodized. They use the highest quality, hand-selected show quality wood that will hold up over time. Why? Because it's kiln dried to precision moisture levels specifically for Marquet. They stock oak, pine, and mini exotics, guaranteeing extremely fast delivery. All parts are manufactured in-house in Oklahoma City, USA. They offer quality parts built by Americans for old American-made trucks. So when you're looking for body moldings, bed strips, bed wood, and so much more, think Marquet. That's mar-k.com. Boom, boom. Kind of wrapping things up. I got to catch a flight. Hanging out with Cameron Lopez. Social media is going to be Cameron _ plus another _ then Lopez. So Cameron, 2 underscores, Lopez. And he's got a beautiful 71-72 shorty that's got probably a 6-inch lift on it.
4-inch lift. Yeah, it's nothing crazy. It's slightly lifted, bigger tires, bigger wheels. Paint's 15 years old. And like I said, I got it from my sister-in-law about a year ago, and I started kind of tearing into it and just fixing it up. We put a vintage air kit in it. There's some other stuff done to it. The lift I did, it's a hijacker lift, polished it out, stainless cap on the back, billet steering wheel. You know, it's just a true truck, nothing crazy. So
it is a true truck, and that's actually kind of what makes it even cooler. Is just it kind of takes me back to like '88, right? And I mean it in a cool way. Right. Now, the one thing that you just hit a grand slam in the park, home run, double whammy, is these wheels. They look like welds. What are they?
Yeah, so they're weld mountain crushers, and then they usually have the bead lock, but I had them milled to take the bead lock off. So they're just all smooth lips, and then they're polished by a friend of mine. His name's Daniel. We call him Waka, and he really got down on those, made them look like chrome. So
yeah, what up, Waka? They look like chrome, and for the audience, they are 15s. That's right. So they're a 1512?
1512, yeah, 1512. I think the back spacing, I think it's 44 offset, but I can't remember the back spacing exactly. But yeah, they look like 14s almost if you got it just right. So
33-13-5 with the 15 wheel, and so it goes back to that time where you might be roller skating out a little bit. How does it ride?
You know, it's a straight axle truck. It don't ride great, but it got me here. It's not too bad. You know, the hijacker lift is pretty good. I would recommend it to anybody with a 72 or a straight axle truck. So, you know, you can't really get too good of a ride with a straight axle, but the best you can, you know, so definitely.
Well, we've been riding around on straight axles for a long time. Cameron's a younger guy, so he's spoiled, man, with his independent stuff. But, yeah, I mean, straight axle with the leaf, I dig even that the paint is a little older. You got the clear front markers up front. What's next for this truck? What are you hearing when people come by? What do you want to do? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so I have a 6-liter and LQ9 at my house actually right now. I just got it back from the machine shop. Cranks polished. I was thinking about a 408, probably a stroker. A little on the heavier hitter because I don't want to be too, shy out the hole and whatnot. But for the most part, that's probably going to be the next step, interior, and then hopefully me and my dad get down to the nitty-gritty and get to that paint and that little bit of rust it has. So try to take care of that and probably wrap it up and make a real nice truck. So
I think you're already there, and, it is cool to think tires and wheels and tires, however you want to look at it, can really make a truck. Obviously, you gave it a little bit of a stance. You've worked the paint. You've made the paint look as good as possible. And let's go over here and let's crack this door. I want to look on the inside. It's got some gauges down low, old school. It's factory AC truck. It's a 71 door with 72 panels. And it is, I don't know. It might be a 72 then because it's, do you know what is it?
It's a 72. Yep, 72.
Okay, because you've got a Hodge. Well, you got a few things. We'll talk about that. So what I look for here on the door, and that's not there. But we'll look at all this. So he's got vintage air. and it was an original air truck because he's got it looks like it was at least, and 72 panels. Dude, this is a fun truck to ride around in. I tell you what, you probably dig sitting up high. It's got the scrolling in the door panels. Everything about this thing. How's the bed floor?
Bed floor's cherry, actually. It's real nice. No rust, not dented, not really used much. And it's the true short bed truck. It's not shortened either. So that's another thing nice about this truck. It has the original to show you that it's a true short bed in the actual glove box as well. Sure. So, yeah, it's true short bed. It's a real nice truck on the bed, at least. As well.
How long have you had it?
About a year and a half, roughly a year. Like I said, it's been in the family for about 15 years. It goes back to my sister-in-law. She bought it from a guy out of Bakersfield, and then her dad really did a lot to it and made it what it really was. When I bought it, I just kind of gave it a little bit more finesse, and that's about it. Like I said, vintage air kit, just little things, billet steering wheel, nothing too crazy. But we're getting there. We're getting a little closer. Stainless caps on the bottom of the door and the rocker, and a carpet kit and stuff like that. So
enjoy it. I bet you get a lot of good looks when you're rolling, down, up and down the coast, and just in Cali. It's a total Cali truck. I like the stance. I like the style. Do you have a name for this thing?
It does have a name. I didn't name it, but it's Clifford, the big red dog. But I didn't name it, so we just keep it true to that because she named it, my sister-in-law, and that's what it is. So.
What does she think about it now that she sees what you've done to it?
She actually really likes it. I did the little subtle touches. Like I said, it didn't have much different from it now. She likes the lift. She likes the wheels and tires. I don't think she really is disappointed. I think she's glad it went to me and not somebody else. So, because it could have gone a lot of different ways with other people.
Yeah, you kept it in the family, and you're kind of bringing the best out of this thing. Clifford, the 72. Yeah, that's right. Cameron, _ Lopez. Check him out, guys. Thanks, Cameron.
Thank you.
Show stunner. I walked through the door. I saw this thing. Wheels, stance, big, black, 72, K5 Blazer. Really detailed. And I've got Adam Marquez. Adam, you're obviously one of those detail guys, the little things that I think the true aficionado is going to notice. You don't have the mirrors on here. I saw how you painted the inside door panels. You've got the Marquez bezels on your lights. A lot of little things. Tell us about this Blazer.
It's all about the little subtle changes. Like when I knew I was going to have a kid, I've owned a bunch of 68 through 72 trucks, and this is what I call my Manny van. It's always at soccer practice, soccer tournaments.
I don't know if that was just a slide of words, but did you say Manny van versus Mini? Because I like that. We might make that a new term.
Call it the Manny van.
All right, it is a Manny
This
van.
is the closest thing I'll ever be to a van. So, yeah, that's what I want. Just throw my kids in it and go to practice, and I drive it. It's never been on a trailer.
It's a looker, I tell you. So how'd you get this thing?
A neighbor of mine had it. It was what you call a pipe dream. Sat in the street with, transmission fluid all over the road. And
his pipe dream.
His pipe dream.
Okay.
And I've always wanted one. I knew I wanted to have kids, so I knew I couldn't put him in my C10. So I offered him $1,000, and he said, "No, you're smoking." And a couple of days later, I picked it up for $1,000.
How long ago? Because I heard this was an older build.
11 years ago.
And it's been pretty much the way you've got it, or did you do some things over the time?
It was bone stock. So I had 8 months to build this thing before my first daughter was born. Like, it didn't look like this at 8 months, but in 8 months, all the body work, the paint was done, the frame was back underneath it. And then through time, like, it had a 383 stroker in it with the 700, and I got sick of smelling like exhaust when I got out of it. So I swapped this motor and put a 5.3 in it with the 460, and I kept it stock. Just I wanted a driver.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. Wheels, home run. What wheels are they? They look like a Weld style. What are they?
They're a Weld Racing. They sponsored this for SEMA, I think 8 years ago. And they said, pick what you want, and the black wheels were in, but I wanted something subtle that would just be timeless.
Yeah, timeless with, it's a billet style wheel. Is it a 17 or 18?
They're 20.
Oh, dude, they do not look like they're 20s, okay? 20s, and the billet style with the black and the way that you have the handles, everything. Like you said, he's got the Vortec LS motor swapped in. You're running a different AC, running some vintage?
Yeah, it's the vintage AC. And also another mod I did to the front is I never really cared for the 72 turn signals. This was a 68 Chevy truck bumper, and I put the 69 Camaro indicators in it.
And you painted the grill black. You've got the bow tie that's black with a little bezel around it. You've got some, looks like United Pacific style, HID style lights. It's all blacked out. I'll obviously take a little photo of it. You've got the factory hood hinges. Come around. He did take the mirrors off of it. saddle interior, a newer style seat. What seats are you running?
Those seats are out of a 2010 Honda Pilot.
They work pretty good and make some different brackets?
They're really comfortable. And I was going to put the factory seats in it, but after driving this to trips to Reno, I'm like, I couldn't go any other way. These are comfortable.
So you just drive the shit out of this thing?
I do.
I mean, how many miles have you put on it?
It's done 5 or 6 trips to Reno. It's been to San Diego once. Just a lot of trips to Sacramento.
33 12.5s on the 20s, on the weld wheels we talked about, Toyos. Up front, he's got some, are they like a Ride Tech shock? What shock are you running?
Chris Dawson Chassis Works sponsored it when it went to SEMA. Those are his shocks. They're VeriShock, I think they're called.
And a dual front stabilizer across. Obviously, he's running the stock front and rear axles.
The rear axle is actually out of a 99 half-ton 6-lug. It's a 14.
So you could do the disc brake?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what gearing?
Yeah, 410s.
410s. How about exhaust?
It's got Flowmasters. Actually, those are the original ones that were on it when I bought it. That's the only thing I kept on this thing.
Well, that just means it looks as good as it sounds then.
Yeah, that and the transfer case was probably the only original things I kept, and the body was perfect.
Did you rebuild the 205?
I did.
Everything else timeless, running good. Are you dual sticking the 205 or single? Okay, he's single sticking it. He got the vintage air in there. He's got like a disc, single disc with a USB port. Dude, your kid's got to love this thing. Now, you did do one change I haven't seen. So what he did, kind of cool, he took a stock like 69, 72 inner dome light that you'll see on a truck, and it looks like he put that on the inside of his top. You don't see that very often.
Actually, I don't know if I invented that, but it had old ones on there. I don't even know if that's a factory thing.
No, I don't think on there. I don't think I mean, that does make sense, but I'd have to look at my Blazers at home. I don't think I've seen that like that. That it's been that. I think they're smaller, but I could be wrong. So there's 5 other Blazers here. I'll go look, and we'll go take a look. Thing is killer. I love the paint. I mean, is it a pain to keep clean? It's black.
It's hard to keep clean. It's pretty annoying, especially when I come home from work and the garage is wide open because the kids are getting their bikes. And yeah, I cleaned it 3 times already today, and look at it.
Any other truck that you have? Are you like a more than one in the stable kind of guy?
I have a 69 Camaro that I built this Pro Touring, and I just got rid of my OBS 95 that had a 5.7 drop. I got rid of that because I'm trying to build my Camaro again. I'm redoing that.
Is this Blazer something that you would just kind of keep forever? I mean, you've had it this long, and you're like, hey, I love this thing. My Mannyvan.
Mannyvan. Yeah, I don't think I'd sell it for as cheap as I built it and got it. My kids love it.
You got a name for this thing?
No.
Just the Mannyvan.
Just the Mannyvan.
The big black Mannyvan.
That's it.
Rolling down the strip. Adam, thank you so much. Do you have social media?
I do.
What is it?
Instagram?
Yeah. You gonna look it up?
I gotta look it up.
All right, look it up. While he's looking it up, I'm gonna kind of walk around, look for any other subtle little changes. Now, one thing you don't see a lot, he's got his intake on the driver's side. Most of the time, that's gonna be over by the battery on the passenger side.
That's actually a K&N they built for, I believe it was a 2015 Silverado that they said, hey, just pick one. I went with.
Put on the side.
And
did you find your Instagram?
No, I haven't.
You already distracted. You're worse than me, man. Keep looking that up. Okay, he's got, what gauges, man? Those are pretty sweet.
Those are classic instruments.
Okay. I like the race style. He's kind of got race lettering. He's got the smaller, more of like a Camaro style steering wheel. Looks really good. Roll cage in the back seat. He's looking up his Insta wiener. You'd have to just look at your thing.
With you, my wife set it all up.
Go to that little person guy right down there. Adam Marquez at Adam, and then another M Marquez. So is your middle name M?
Yep.
So it's Adam M Marquez, and that's on his Instagram. And I don't know. There's a lot. I don't know if he's got a lot of pictures of this Blazer. Nonetheless, the Mannyvan. I'm gonna take some pictures and video of this thing. Weld Racing coming at you. Great style, great stance. Rad Blazer. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Pacific Northwest coming at you. At Team Owner on social media, John Kugler, and we've got this rad service body. John, I tell you what, you've done it. You know, you've taken the patina, you take the some of the different lettering that you've done, and you brought it all together into one really cool truck. You get a lot of love for this. You made it down. You drove the truck, and you're out here having a good time. Tell us about your journey.
It was not as long as going to Bonneville and not as long as going to Dino's last year, but it was still fun. It was a lot of fun to cruise down with 3 or 4 other trucks and hang out here at the show. It's a great show. Yeah.
People really, I mean, this is one of those things where although you see more service bodies probably than ever because they have become really popular, this one's still really unique. You did the Bonneville Speedway on it. You just gave it a complete and total character. Was that always your thought? Were you always kind of like, hey, this is kind of a race truck and we're going to kind of make this a theme for that?
Not at first. At first it was just, I liked the patina on it and I wanted to do an LS swap. I'd done a couple before, and so then after I had it for about a year or so and did the swap, I kind of wanted some kind of a theme to do with cars, and I just kind of came up with Bonneville and found a local guy who'd do the lettering for me, and it turned out great. Yeah.
Now, this was an original service bed?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's original just the way I found it. Got it out of Northern California, had a 6-cylinder in it, 3-speed, and pulled that and put an LS in it and 4L60, and yeah.
Was it do you know what it was used for from the perspective of like a service company?
No, I don't really know what it was for. I know that there's a pencil sharpener and a paper towel thing in the back that I left, and there was all kinds of different colors of paint on the inside doors, so I'm thinking some kind of a paint truck or something, maybe a school district, I don't know.
Yeah, school district, something like that would be cool. Well, you've got the seafoam green. You guys did a great job. Looks like kind of a Snowden-style seat. Is it a factory AC truck?
No, I added that. There's a repop for that and got vintage air, and it is a Snowden seat. Added cruise control last year before I went to Dino's, so make it a little more comfortable. But
what's the funnest part about driving it?
Just everybody's reaction. I get a lot of thumbs up and go places, and they really like it. Like you said, they're getting more popular, but having the patina that's on it and knowing that it came that way with this bed, everybody really likes it. So
what drop? You got a significant 5.7 minimum. What drop you got on this?
Yeah, I think it's about 5 to 6 in the front. I got a Jim Meyer front end, and it's kind of adjustable when you put it in, so I adjusted it as low as it would go, and so it's static and running coilovers in the front, disc brakes, and all that stuff that Jim Myers offers. And the back it's just C-notched, and had the rear end rebuilt, but it's probably 6-7 inches back there as well.
The stance is killer because you still have a little of the rake left. You got the white bumpers, which really, that's going to always pop. Was this the original bumper, or is this something you found and put on?
No, original bumper to the truck. Same with the back one. I just pretty much everything that on it, as far as body-wise, is the way I bought it. All I really did to the body was have the lettering done, and then insides of the utility bed doors, I cleaned those up, and when I put the LS in it, I pulled the whole nose off and had all the interior of the engine bay powder coated. I used the crinkle cut kind of designs because it seems to hold up a little better than just a gloss. So, yeah.
Now, you took it to Salt Flats. What a fun time, and I got to assume that just some of the pictures and, that was probably one of those things where, for like myself, we just kind of talked about it before we, hit record. Just a cool place, and what an experience for you to take this thing out there, especially because you do have the Bonneville, on the side.
Right. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was the first time I'd went, and it was a big hit with everybody, that saw it, and quite a few people were taking pictures. And of course, I took a bunch of pictures, but yeah, the Bonneville stuff on the truck really set it off, and it was an amazing place. Yeah.
So you've had this truck for a while. You've done a really good job. It gets a lot of love. Is this something that you would keep, would sell? What are you thinking?
No, it's going to be a lifer for me. It's the last truck my dad worked on with me before he passed away. So yeah, I'll keep it forever. Yeah.
Cool. I appreciate that and respect that. And I assume, like you said, your kids are into the trucks or kind of hang out with you as well. So that's probably something that they really dig this truck too.
Oh yeah, my kids love it. I got a couple other cars my kids love, and my little grandson loves it. So yeah, it'll probably be handed down to my son and then probably to my grandson at some point.
Well, that's a cool thing, and like you said, to have that experience with your dad, something to cherish. We love the truck. We love what you're doing, and not only just building rad trucks, but you're driving them too. You've been to the Get Down, to the Salt Flats, and you're here now. You guys came from the Pacific Northwest. We know you guys represent up there. Thank you for doing what you do, and love your truck, bro.
Hey, thanks, Ronnie. I appreciate the interview, and I just want to say thanks, to all the firefighters. I know you're one, and we appreciate all you guys do. I know you don't probably get as much love as you should, but all you guys, we really appreciate it. And as far as the show, I want to thank Carlos and all the guys that put it on. Couldn't ask for a better show. People are great, venue's great, weather's great, a little warm, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've been really lucky, and thank you for saying thank you. And really, it's what the community's all about, and we do appreciate it. The funny thing when you bring about the weather and fire service is the damn fire was helping us all day today. For the audience, there was a fire in Cali, so the smoke was essentially protecting us from this freaking laser that's now busted through the smoke. But for the most part all day, up until probably about 1 o'clock, we had pretty good low sun because of the smoke from the fire. John, team owner, thank you so much. We've got the two staff members are telling us awards at 1:30. John, thank you so much, brother. You guys can check him out, team owner on Instagram. Check out his night. Is it a 65? 4? Okay, 64. Little service bed. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Sometimes you got to run these down, man. And I tell you what, Chris Ledbetter out of California, ledbetter.chris on social. That's LEDBETTR, ledbetter.chris. He's out of Visalia, Dixon. Okay, Dixon. I tell you what, dude, I saw this. You posted it up. Somebody posted this up. It's a pig nose gasser. Chris, tell us about this truck, and welcome to C10 Talk.
Oh, thanks. The truck started out, it was going to go get Pro Street style. The frame was bent, so my best friend, he goes, "You love gassers?" He goes, "Cut the front end off, let's do it." So it's something different. Nobody else has ever done it. Everybody's done 55, 6, and 7 Chevys to death, and it turned out really nice, and everybody likes it.
Wrap around, obviously pig nose. He's got it, just everything about it, your style. You come over here, Chris. We'll kind of walk around it. Can you pop that? And he's gonna work on popping the hood, but he's got all the stickers. Of course, I'll take some pictures. Headers that dump right out. So he's got it looks like either an actuator, so he can do a straight dump. But solid axle, huge blown small block. Is that what that is? Yep. Looks like a blown small block. What do you got on there?
It's a 400 small block with a 671 blower. It's 10 over, 750 double pump Hollies. It's got a Muncie 4-speed.
Stall converter out the door. What this thing
4-speed. It's old school.
Yeah, because you're gonna how much torque?
I'm not sure. It's probably like right around 700 or 800 to the crank. So it's a handful.
People have just got to love it. Obviously, it looks like you just got it done, really. Have you had it done for a while?
No, it's been done for 5 years now.
What? I haven't even seen this thing. It just kind of came out of...
all over the media.
Well, I think it just got there because I saw it like within the last few weeks. Like I was saying, I sent a picture to Delmo, and I'm like, this is like your two worlds colliding, the gasser and the C10. So you've got the straight dump availability, and then what do you got? A little actuator. You can either go muffled or you can go straight.
You got to unbolt it.
Oh, okay.
It's old school stuff, but it's got 4-inch exhaust on it, 1-chamber flows.
What's Mickey Thompson on the back? It's like a 15.
Yeah, it's got 31 18.5s on it.
Oh my God! Do you just roast it? Do you actually go do drags, or is it just more for show?
It's got a 10 bolt in it right now. I'm building a 9-inch for it, so we can drag race it. I'll do a lot of the Hot Rod Reunion, March Meet, stuff like that, Bakersfield.
People just love this thing, I guarantee, when they see it. Now, walk us through your interior. You got, obviously a lot of gauges, autometer gauges. You did kind of a tuck and louver style. What do you call that?
Yeah, it's 1960s button diamond tuck. It was done by a friend of mine, Tony Ballard, in Vacaville.
Vacaville, all period correct. You got all the right stickers on here. Yeah. You kind of went with like a red oxide paint, and then obviously the white two-tone. Now, what about chassis? Did you have to do any real big chassis upgrades?
Yeah, it's got 54-inch ladder bars under it with coilovers. The front end's a Speedway straight axle. It's got Chevy brakes on it. It's got drums in the rear, disc in the front. It's got a hydraulic master cylinder with a hydraulic throwout bearing.
What's your favorite part of this truck?
My favorite part of this truck, probably that blower sitting up on that motor.
What about when you drive? Do people just lose their shit?
It radiates people to it. I got to kind of watch it on the freeway because people start looking at it and they start driving towards it. So it's kind of crazy.
It's a great point. I wouldn't even think about it, especially it looks and sounds rad. What was the hardest part of the build?
Probably just figuring out where the front end had to be and how the front end had to be set back so it would steer right and go down the freeway. Right now, I was driving it here at 85 in third gear, and it was under $2,000, and it was running about 180, nice and cool, just kind of jotting down the freeway.
Dude, what a rad truck. What a rad build. Do you have a name for it? Just it's Gasser?
Felix. It's Felix.
Felix Chevrolet. He's got the Felix Chevrolet on the hood.
It's Felix the Gasser.
Was it a big back window truck?
Yes. It's an original big back window custom cab truck.
Felix the Gasser. You guys can check him out. Again, it's going to be Ledbetter.Chris on social media. It's a knee knocker. It's coming at you. It's loud. I'm going to do a quick video. Rad truck, rad build, something different. And you guys nailed it out of the park, brother.
Thanks.
All right, guys, late. 2020, I jumped on a plane, came in yesterday on Saturday. I'm going to leave here soon. They're doing awards. Another great show. Just want to thank John Oro, Carlos, Vidalis, Tony, the mayor of C10 Sacramento. The guys did a great job. Provost and his crew, they had the Provost VIP lounge, cigars, drinks, refreshments, food. Everything about it was perfect. These guys did a great job. I don't know, they sold out at 450. I'm not sure if 450 made it, but I'll tell you what, the assortment, the trucks that were here, the level of the trucks that were here was great. OBS, C10s, Blazers. Hell, I just interviewed a Pro Street truck. Dualies, squares, you name it, they had it. They did have some Tri-5 stuff. They did have a couple First Series trucks as well. Great people. The compadres do it every year. The pre-show on Saturday night at the hotel. Hospitality second to none. Thank you guys. C10 Intervention. C10 Talk is out.